Hello everyone, I'm meteorologist Charlie Neese. It is Monday, the 7th of April, 2025, and we are wrapping up a devastating few days of weather across the nation's heartland into the southeast with large tornadoes and a lot of people still dealing with significant river flooding. And those are going to be the highlights of hotspot weather, where we take a look at the weather hotspots across the country. And also, I know there are a lot of weather channels you could be visiting on YouTube these days. I appreciate you spending some time right here in hotspot weather. The first hotspot down in the southeast, still a severe weather risk with thunderstorms and an isolated tornado threat. But this tornado threat today across the deep south is not nearly as high as what we had at the end of last week into the weekend. The system is a weakened version of what it was, but still some active thunderstorms. And in that storm system's wake, we still are dealing with incredible flooding, record or near record levels of flooding for many areas. And I'll be highlighting that here. Let's take a look at the river flood stage map. And in the purple boxes, those are the stages that are expected to be at or above record or near record major flood stages. And there is significant flooding going on in these areas. So if you're going to be traveling across the Ohio River Valley or the Middle Mississippi River Valley, just know not only will there be flooding to deal with, there's also going to be lots of road closures. And in some cases, especially near the confluence of the Ohio and Mississippi rivers, we could be seeing major highways affected by the significant river flooding that is going on in these areas. And the flood area is all the way from near the Great Lakes all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. But again, the main area where we see the most purple is mainly in the Ohio and Middle Mississippi River valleys. So again, just keep that in mind. And this will be going on for the next several days. Switching to the chance of severe weather, the chance of severe weather is highest today across North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, back down into northern parts of Florida. And again, thunderstorms with the threat for high winds and hail and isolated tornadoes will be ongoing in these areas. And so we'll start off with the computer models and the jet stream. And the jet stream has been in this very energetic pattern. And we still have this significant dip in the jet stream that's bringing much cooler air. So we've seen a pattern flip. And in these areas where we've seen so much rain, we are going to turn drier for much of the week. And we're also turning much cooler for much of the week as well. The system finally, though, is pushing off the East Coast as the day wears on into the nighttime hours, just leaving behind this trough with, again, pretty chilly air from the Great Lakes down into the northern Tennessee Valley. The central part of the country calms down, and temperatures here are a little cooler, but not too bad. The middle part of the week should be relatively calm, and then another bend, another trough develops and brings much cooler air again to the eastern part of the country, and will also be bringing a chance of some showers and thunderstorms, but not looking at the widespread severe weather threat for the end of the week system like we had for this past weekend. All right, let's focus in on the chance for severe weather for today, and the best chance again is in the deep southeast. As we work through the daytime today, we'll see this line of thunderstorms with the threat for not only hail and high winds, but isolated tornadoes making its way off toward the east by 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's running from around Raleigh in North Carolina, approaching Charleston, South Carolina, to the east and south of Atlanta, approaching around Albany, Georgia, again, the northern part of Florida, back down into the Gulf. And as we work through the rest of the evening into the nighttime hours, that does move off the Atlantic coast and brings calmer weather for everybody, leaving behind, again, the cool temperatures. Speaking of temperatures, let's take a look. We've seen temperatures start off this morning in the 40s as far south as the northern Alabama area, and these are areas where we're seeing mid-80s for the weekend. And as we head into the afternoon today, these are temperatures in the middle of the afternoon for Monday the 7th, in the 30s around the Great Lakes with a few 20s as well, 40s in New England, 50s for places like Nashville, for also Memphis, St. Louis. And again, this is significantly cooler than we were seeing just a couple of days ago. And then the temperatures during the overnight hours become very chilly with 30s all the way down into the Tennessee Valley, around Nashville, 35 degrees at 7 o'clock Tuesday morning. Look at all the 20s and teens around the Great Lakes, and 40s all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico, where Tuesday morning temperatures as low as 46 degrees for places like Mobile, Alabama, and also right around Tallahassee, Florida, 48 degrees. Not quite as cold back to the southwest, but even places like Dallas and Oklahoma City will be in the middle 40s to start the day on Tuesday. Now, the plains will see a nice warm up as we go through the afternoon on Wednesday, with highs back in the middle and upper 70s, but still that pocket of cool air across the northeast. Look at these temperatures across the northeast into New England. Very cold again, back below freezing for some of the big cities of the Northeast. A little closer inspection of what's going to be happening across the middle Atlantic. You can see the cool air sweeping in behind that front, and look how it just overspreads this entire area. By 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning on the 8th, on Tuesday morning, temperatures well down into the 20s across much of Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York State, and in the 40s for the Carolinas, back down into Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. Another look across the Tennessee Valley back into the Mississippi River Valley as we head into Tuesday morning. Some very chilly air coming in, and that's going to be working down to the south and kind of staying with us for a couple of days. Look at the 20s from Iowa back into parts of northern Missouri, Indiana, Illinois here, back into Kentucky as well. And again, temperatures near freezing Tuesday morning for places like Nashville, back up into some of these areas that are seeing significant river flooding right now. And that's going to be a cold flood, which is, as you're trying to clean up from flooding and staying out of the water with temperatures near freezing, it's just miserable. It's miserable during any flood, but during a cold flood, it's really tough to take. So just be mindful of that in these areas. Across the northern plains, very cold air as we head into Tuesday morning, and we're going to be seeing that stick with us for, again, a few days, although it's going to be moderating here in the plains first as the trough that's bringing all the cold air shifts off toward the east. But 20s for places like Bismarck, North Dakota by Tuesday morning, back down into South Dakota, and even Kansas getting into the act. Overall, the weather pattern will get calmer for just a couple of days as we head to the middle of the week. This is at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Tuesday. Still chilly with this trough across the east and some snow showers for New England, but much of the country quiet. We do have some more rain coming into the Pacific Northwest, and this rainy season we have seen a lot of rain across the Pacific Northwest into Washington and Oregon, and some higher mountain snows there in the Rockies. And as we work in through the day on the 10th, which is Thursday, we do have a new system zipping through the Great Lakes with a chance of some snow showers and some rain and thunderstorms that extends back from Ohio into Kentucky and eastern Tennessee. That is with that next wave that brings pretty chilly air in place for the beginning of the weekend across the eastern part of the country. And it's going to feel pretty chilly, even a little bit chillier in some spots than we're seeing with this current wave to begin the week. And that does spread a lot of rainfall across parts of the Northeast and then eventually moving off into the Atlantic coast. So another system, two big shots of cool air, one to begin the week, one to end the week into next weekend across the eastern part of the country. Also, though, overall, as far as the rainfall goes, much calmer. We're just going to be dealing with this ongoing threat of river flooding for the next few days across the Ohio and Mississippi River valleys. If you are trying to formulate your severe weather safety plan for your family, check out this video, and also on my YouTube shorts, I have a lot of fascinating facts about tornadoes and also safety tips there. We are in severe weather season, so make sure that you have your plan, because even though we're calm right now, the overall pattern still looks to be very active for severe weather as we round out April and go into May. Thanks again for visiting us here on Hotspot Weather, and have a great day.